Shooting 470 Nitros, take 2.
All right, so here's the setup. We're out at the Outback Farm here in Ripco, and we're going to shoot 5 different types of 470 ammunition. We are going to shoot them into generic, mostly generic 2-liter soda bottles for visual effect. We hope they blow up nicely. We'll have some sand after that in some bags, and then we'll go into that white drum, which will be filled with loose sand, hopefully so we can recover some of the projectiles. Now what we're shooting today, we'll start with the new pretty one. This is a Shapui 470. It's very stiff and it is brand new, and it belongs to a good friend of ours, Mark, who will be suffering the punishment from this one. So that's gun number 1. And then gun number 2 is this old Merkel, which I use on every safari in Africa. It's an older gun and also a 470 Nitro Express. So that's the plan. We're shooting at 21 yards and or 20 yards by the time we get everything set up. It'll be 20 yards, and that's the story today. So wish us luck.
Wow, and it's a fucked up. They change it every guy.
Oxford. My son's down there at school for summer. So I'm gonna go down to Mississippi. So you're halfway. I'll just stop and hang out with you if you don't mind. He goes, I think we ought to shoot some guns. We get some soda cans, we'll blow them up and put it on video.
I've been thinking about
try
that.
these bullets out. Yeah, I was just gonna stop by and eat a steak and hang out.
hang out. No, we're gonna blow some shit up first, then we'll eat a steak.
Yeah, that's when the steak comes into play. All right.
4-2.
It's a bad start. All right. First bullet is a cup nose solid. And somebody needs to remove that stick out of the way. Three, 2, 1. It worked, boys. I can smell the soda in the air.
Your phone's probably covered in it.
That's going to be a mess. Yeah, it's going to be an absolute mess. It's kind of expensive.
Didn't make
3, 2, 1. Because I think we can find that. So this cupped solid, it looked like I hit the soda bottles good enough. They all blew up, and it seems to be not really much above or below middle. So the soda, but then it hit kind of high in here. And then it fishtailed up out of that bag just a little bit. Entrance to exits, the exit seems a little higher. And then of course it hit this bag, which was there. And now we're searching for the bullet in here. It's in there. That appears to be the cup-nosed. That's the cup-nosed solid. So this is our second shot. This is a North Fork SS, which is it's a semi-Spitzer, but it's expandable bullet, lead core, bonded bullet. Take it away, sir.
All right. Ready?
I'm ready if you are.
Good.
Or Whitley, you say what you think happened.
No, it's all right. Go ahead. You can be the movie star. I don't want to go viral.
Yeah.
I don't need nobody watching me.
All right, so this was the expanding bullet, Norfolk semi-switcher. Whitley's, his impact was a little bit lower, which was maybe better than my shot, but it's a little bit lower through the bottles. It went into here, and then we have no exit on the back side of these sand tubes. So right now, this whole part, it seems to be a huge waste of, well, it's a waste of trip tractor supply. The bullets aren't making it through. Now, we haven't shot the solids yet. That's up next. Okay, so we're shooting a Barnes monolithic solid. So far, in my experience, this has been the best bullet for backup purposes in Africa. Mark's loaded up with them, so we're gonna see what that does. So all right, let's give it a try. Good. All right, so this is right after Mark's shot with Barnes monolithic solid, and very little, if any, distortion to that bullet. Went through two sandbags, and it's got a little bit of scarring from the sand, but that bullet's in great.
It, yeah.
It's in good shape. You could almost reload it. Yeah, see nothing wrong with that. Good. That's why I shoot. That's why I like those. It's designed for straight line penetration, which the key is, this bullet in a dangerous situation, if you miss the brain of a buffalo, maybe it goes through the skull, it doesn't fishtail or expand in any way and slow down, then it gets into the neck. Well, it goes through all that heavy muscle in the neck. Let's say I miss the spine in the neck. Well, then I have a chance for this bullet to continue penetrating in a straight line, maybe into the shoulder, maybe where the spine dips near the vitals, or even all the way to the back hip, and then to incapacitate that animal. So for a professional hunter in backup situations, straight line penetration and a bullet staying together like that is very important, and that's pretty impressive at 20 yards with a 470. The next bullet we're going to shoot is a Norfolk solid. This is machined out of one piece of alloy. It's a monolithic solid, and that'll be the next one that we shoot here. All right, Bill. Got my dang earplugs. Okay, so this is also a solid bullet. This is a Nosler bullet, and it's a monolithic solid bullet as well. A little more pointier of a shape. So yeah, we'll see what these do. Okay, what we've got this time is a Hornady solid. This is called a DGX, made by Hornady. You got we're loading 2 in case there's a miss on camera. Strategery, Bill.
Yep.
All right, so we're looking for these bullets now, and we've cut these bags open. So this appears to be, this is the SS, bonded lead core bullet. This is ideal for your first shot if you're hunting buffalo with a big gun like this, or you're hunting plains game animal, whatever. Expanding bullet. Did exactly what it's supposed to. That's about a perfect mushroom, real good. Now Mark has found another one here. All right, so earlier on I was mistaken. That one that it seemed to be in the right place for the North Fork solid. It was not. This is the North Fork solid. A little more flattening than that Barnes projectile, but once again, real good bullet performance. No distortion to the bullet, and you can see the front just opened up just a little bit, or flattened out just a little bit. Good performance on that one too. Now we're looking for, which one are we looking for now? We're trying to find the got something to wash that off with. Yikes. Feel it. That sand was all hot around it.
That's that Hornady.
So what we have
It's a
here,
hot Hornady.
Solid.
this is a solid bullet. This is the Hornady DGX. And that right there is why I don't shoot them. I shoot them for target practice. But it's distorted at the front. It's bowed like a fish. And this bullet actually, this bag was up here. The bullet actually, as it went through, went that way, it appears. Of course, it's spinning real fast, and who knows. But that is a lead core solid bullet. Do not use this bullet. Don't use this bullet for hunting. This bullet will get you killed, get the pH killed in an extreme circumstance. It's not ideal for backup. We're going to shoot the DGX, the expanding bullet, here in a second. But yeah, that's what you don't. I mean, that's what you don't really want out of those.
Yeah, is that a solid?
That's a Nosler solid. And it almost no, very little wear, distortion. It's complete. As a factory loaded ammo.
Here we are at the end of this little experiment, and I'm going to go over the bullets real quick on what we did. North Fork solid, North Fork cup solid, Nosler solid, Barnes monolithic solid, North Fork expanding bullet called a SS, made for dangerous game, bonded bullet, Hornady solid. So then I'll come over and we'll do a kind of a close-up of them too, but the Hornady. Nosler. North Fork solid. Cupped solid by North Fork, made to expand like that. This bullet did what it was designed to do. Kind of a hybrid bullet. Kind of a cool mushroom on the front. Stayed together, penetrated straight. Expanding bullet. Increase the diameter for more killing power, yet you have less penetration, of course. Bullet performed excellent. Then my favorite, and one I've shot for a long time. Of course, I'm gonna use these North Forks this year in Africa, but my favorite and go-to bullet is the Barnes monolithic solid. It's called a banded solid. It's a flat nose. A little bit of damage to the tip. Very good shape. You can see the similarities between the North Fork solid. See the smaller bands? Those have to do with pressure and gripping the rifling, but also pressure. And you can see the wider bands on the Barnes. Both these bullets performed well. Both of them are very adequate, or the best for dangerous game follow-up or for first shot on elephant if you're doing that. But you can see they both performed pretty good. All right, well, we'll do it again. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. We'd like to thank our sponsors here at Little Leisure Ranch, the Little Leisure Cattle Company, and Casey for providing the location here at the Outback. We don't think we broke anything, and we've made quite a mess with soda down here, but thanks for the help, Casey. Appreciate it. I'm Nathan Askew, owner of Bullet Safaris and Iowa Trophy Hunts, and I am a professional hunter in Africa. I have a lot of experience with these larger calibers, and what we're going to do here is shoot several different makes and models of some double barrel rifles, some large caliber double barrel backup rifles. So I've got 3 different makes and models. One's going to be a Shapui, one's going to be a Merkel, and one is going to be a Heim. Yeah, you'd think I could remember that. Anyway, 3 very good rifles, 3 very common rifles. Common for large caliber stopping rifles, not common for what you're going to find at your everyday hunting and outdoor store in southern Missouri, which is where we're located right now. Anyway, before we do that, I want to show some of the ammunition that we're going to shoot through these guns. You can get a bunch of different types of ammunition, and there's all these different companies, and they all make something that they claim is different. I know what has worked in the past. I have some new things I want to try out. But yeah, we'll see some penetration test. We'll see some damage that these bullets do, and just kind of this is not going to be a scientific analysis. This is something just so y'all can get a little information about the guns and get a little information about the ammo available. So anyway, to start off, I'm going to go with probably my favorite go-to, used for 15 or 20 years. I've used these bullets, and that's Barnes. So Barnes makes 2 types of large caliber projectiles. The first one is my favorite. This is a Barnes monolithic solid. It is a flat nose bullet. It is machined out of one piece of top secret super alloy or whatever it is. It's a very, very hard bullet. It has a lot of frontal surface area. It provides good knockdown power. It penetrates well. You would think a sharp bullet like a missile would penetrate better. But the problem is those things get in between the muscle fibers, and those sharp points can fishtail. They can deform easier. This flat top solid penetrates in a straight line, has a huge amount of knockdown, and it does exactly what a guy wants for a backup rifle. So once again, we're talking 470. This is a Barnes monolithic solid, and that's the first. That's the first one. It's one of my favorites. Because we're on Barnes, I'll pull out the next one, which really I don't use very much because in the early days I had a pressure problem and these didn't want to eject very well. This is what's known as their TSX. It's an expanding bullet. Once again, it's a monolithic, no lead constructed bullet. Great for a client's first shot on buffalo out of any caliber. Well, any large caliber. They fixed the expansion problems in the early days of this bullet. There were some problems with it. In fact, one of them almost got me killed by a buffalo. But now I find them to be one of the most reliable, best bullets out there for all calibers, whether it's a backup caliber for the professional hunter or the hunting caliber for the client. This TSX is a great bullet. Once again, that's what it is. I don't use them because I don't use them that much for my purpose out of a 470. A 470 is a stopping caliber. It's a backup caliber. It's carried by me. It's not a really effective hunting tool. It's an effective, oh shit, we have a problem tool. So anyway, all right. Now, we've got these Nosler bullets. Nosler is obviously a very good brand. This is the old packaging, which was much nicer. Now they sell them in boxes of 10. This plastic box is a piece of junk. What I find in these is they've got a sharper point, but still a flat nose. Once again, that's like a carpenter's nail. You know, like a finishing nail for a carpenter is blunt, so it goes straight through and doesn't fishtail in the wood or the fine piece of trim. And it's the same concept with these flat nose bullets. Once again, 500 grain. Everything we're talking about is 500 grain out of a 470. These have nickel plated cases. The other ones were brass. I see no real difference for my use. What I do find out of these is a little less felt recoil. I don't know if they're loaded slower or what the deal is, but I do feel less recoil out of this projectile. So maybe we'll get a chronograph and see what's going on here. But these have a little less punch to them. All right, so those. Now, for blowing up things and shooting at the range and cheap target practice, you can't beat a Hornady. For hunting, you can beat a Hornady large caliber. They're not any good. Don't bring them on safari. You'll be disappointed. The soft bullet, which is this one here, yeah, that's a soft lead core 500 grain, what they call a DGX. I find this bullet to be very fragile. It doesn't penetrate well. It expands too fast. These are the cheapest bullet that we'll shoot out of these guns for the sake of this little video and experiment. But these are bad for hunting. Don't trust your buffalo or your safety to one of these bullets. They also make a solid bullet called a DGS. Once again, it's the same construction, a little more rounded of a point, but still it's a lead core solid. I've had them deform. I don't like them. I do not use them for anything except target practice. Nothing against Hornady. They have some good products out there, but for large caliber stopping cartridges and or dangerous game hunting rounds, this is not what you need to bring to Africa. Now we're on to something that's a little bit new to me, and that's these North Fork line of ammunition. So, to start out with the North Fork, this is their flat nose solid. This bullet is also machined out of one piece of alloy metal. It has a little longer point, but the surface area of the tip is very similar to this Barnes monolithic solid, which is in my left hand. That's a Barnes, and this is the North Fork. So you can see the surface area of the point. It's very similar. The Barnes monolithic may have it by a bit, but I see a very similar construction, and I know from talking to both manufacturers and both people that to me they seem like a very similar bullet. I can't say for the metallurgy or the actual compound that they machine these out of, but they seem to be very similar. They both have good reports. I know this one is great. I'm going to test this one this year. Very good reports in the field from this one. So that's a North Fork solid. Then they have something that's kind of a cool deal, if I can find it. This is also a North Fork bullet. Now this is what they call a cupped solid. So you can see that's a concave hole in the tip of that projectile. Once again, 500 grain bullet. And what's going on here is very similar to the design of I think Federal had it was Federal, and they had a thing called a Hydra Shock bullet, which is this one right here. This has a plastic tip on it. But if you would pop this tip off, which sometimes they come off in the field, you would see that it has a concave front to the bullet. Now what's going on there is that concave tip produces a wave of energy which explodes shells and damages tissue as it pushes through the animal. So this could be used out of a very large caliber for your first bullet. Instead of an expanding bullet, you could have this cupped solid, which does a couple different things. It will not expand to the diameter that like a Swift A-frame or this triple shock bullet, which is an expandable soft point / expandable bullet. It's not going to expand to that radius, but it still does a lot more damage than just a solid bullet flying through the animal. All these projectiles have their application. The last one, which I'm interested to try out this year, is this lead core bonded expanding bullet from North Fork. I believe this to be very similar to a Swift A-frame. I think the Swift A-frame has a lower division of the lead core, and I don't know which one is faster expanding or slower expanding, but these are reliable, controlled expansion soft point bullets. This would be a great first bullet to use on a buffalo. I wish I had their, they make another one that's even faster expanding. That would be great for lion or follow up on leopard. Unfortunately, they could not get those to me in time, so I don't have those to test. But this is kind of a go-to first bullet out of a hunting rifle, and or if you wanted to use an expandable bullet out of your backup rifle for whatever reason, maybe in your first barrel. I don't know. I don't ever do that. I usually load all solids, because if things get out of control, then you need that solid bullet in there for straight line penetration. Because if you miss the brain, maybe you hit the shoulder, maybe you hit the spine. If you miss all those things and that big bullet is still going, maybe it'll break a hip and save the day by dumb luck. And maybe not. Then of course you have the second barrel. But anyway, that is what we've got. These bullets range in value from, I'd say, about $14 to $20 per shot, and we're going to blow through some of that money and ammunition, and then we're going to test a handful of other rifles. So stick around. I'll have the rifles on the next video. We'll go through all those, and then we'll start shooting.